Hi, I am Life Coach Landry, and the topic is how to get over being blindsided by a breakup. Every breakup has a story, and the sooner you find it, the sooner you'll bounce back, okay? The pain of rejection in a romantic relationship is strongest when it comes as a surprise. One minute you believe everything is fine, and the next you're blindsided by a breakup news. Or let's even say that it's you doing the breakup, but it's because you found something out or you just finally broke. So you've actually got blindsided by your own feelings because they caught up with you so quick, you just called your relationship off. You know, if you have been blindsided by a partner, you know the feelings all too well. Your heart leaps from your chest, your brain freezes, and your skin sweats. You have no idea how to respond or how to take in this new reality. And the worst part is ahead. When you beat yourself up, wondering how you didn't know your partner was unhappy. How could you not see that the one you love so much was spending time calculating how to end your relationship? Keep in mind that someone who's going to blindside you sets the stage for you to think everything is fine and then pushes you off a cliff. That's the way to think about it. So the partner who is blindsided usually feels used, confused, and betrayed. Most breakups come after a series of conversations, but when you're blindsided, you're left stunned and alone. So what I want to do here is I want to give you 4 questions as you come to terms with being blindsided. Number 1, did your partner ever talk about negative aspects of your relationship? Healthy relationships have up and downs. It's important to be able to openly discuss the pitfalls of your relationship. But remember, it's equally important to recognize that there will always be some frustration in every relationship. However, working through these conflicts builds intimacy in a relationship, and it helps you know exactly where you stand with your partner. I've said in many of my videos, I'm a pretty candid person, and I'm a pretty direct kind of man. Like I said, I speak with candor. So because of that, people always know where they stand with me. But blindsiders will tend to avoid negative emotion. If they feel you're getting upset, they work to remove the upset immediately with little to no verbal problem solving or communication. You get a hint every now and again that when they are displeased with you, but rarely do they ever directly communicate their displeasure. It's just a feeling, a tension, a quietness. As a result, you may carry a lingering sense of insecurity in the relationship and sometimes wonder if everything's okay, which makes you work twice as hard for your relationship than you should. You don't bring this topic up with your partner because you know it won't be a productive conversation. Now, if this has happened to you often, you might have a toxic relationship, and you likely do. Number 2, is your blindsider a people pleaser in general? Blindsiders are usually compulsive people pleasers. Now, not in the sense that you're probably thinking of that, oh, you need that? Will this make you happy? Let me do this for you. I don't mean like that. They're people pleasers in the sense that when something's wrong and they're selfish enough not to let you go, they will do things to make sure you never get too far. So although they're displeased with you, they're never going to let you get too far away from their circle. So they'll wait a week or they'll cancel plans on you. And then all of a sudden they'll call you up and and wonder where you are, something like that. Or let's say you had plans to show up on Saturday, and then that Saturday they're like, I'm going to do something else. Maybe next week. And they just turn you off. Notice what they're doing. They're displeased with you. They're unhappy with you. But look at the way they're expressing it. And a lot of that can be manipulation. And it becomes very blindsiding because then your feelings become confused. You don't know what to do. You're like, do I stay persistent with this person? Or are they pushing me away? They never bring conflict to the table and instead work hard to get along and be pleasant when you're with them. But when you're away, they're constantly thinking about how unhappy they are with you. The negative side of this is that individuals never know how they really feel about an issue. They suppress true emotions, and eventually, like a pressure cooker, their emotions pile up, and they wait for another fight with you, and they let it all out. And they'll tell you everything that you're not a good person. They might see you as a serial liar, a compulsive liar. They just start piling everything so they can have one big, punch in your face. That's being blindsided. By the time they realize they're unhappy, they have to leave, or you have to leave. They don't give you a chance to work on things or respond to their upset because they have no experience with successfully working through conflict with anybody. And it's by choice that they have no success. Take an objective look at how your partner deals with conflict in his or her own life. Does the person even argue with their mother or father, brother, sister, or friends? Can he or she directly disagree with people or just say no when they don't want to do something? Do they tend to avoid conflict at all costs? Or do they act like they're an alpha, but they're really a beta? Number 3, do you avoid your emotions? Okay. You know, when you're a people pleaser, you act like your emotions on the outside, but they're not. Were you taking your own feelings seriously and letting yourself say whatever you needed to be said? Or did you also repress and push away, the upsetness? The person who is blindsided often has difficulty cueing in to the important data in a relationship, right? Everybody collects data over time about whoever they're dating, however it's going, and they kind of have a compiled report that either makes you happy or unhappy. Start working on becoming more in touch with your emotions, how you feel in the presence of certain people. What types of personalities light you up? What types of personalities remind you of the good part of who you are? Those are the people you should date, and those are the people you should surround yourself with. And what types bring you down? Those are the types you should avoid. Even if you're in love with them, you need to break it off and move on. Start making a special effort to directly communicate your emotions to people. Feelings are data. They measure the temperament of life in our relationships. If you're consistently turned down the heat on your feelings, then you won't really know what is going on in your relationship. The more self-aware you are, the easier it is to understand the motives of others. And finally, number 4, where were the problems that you ignored? Take a cold, hard look at the relationship. There is no way it was all positive. If you've been blindsided, take your partner off of the pedestal and yourself as well. Even if you've gotten back with them after a major breakup. Let's say you're back together right now. You're probably back together because of the void you had and the way they made you feel insecure about running back and forth trying to see if they were actually happy with you. Now, a lot of times people might say, well, they weren't happy with me, or they were showing certain things. Well, sometimes what it really is they want you around for selfish reasons, but they don't want you around for the long term. They don't see you as their potential wife and mother of their kid, or their husband and the father of their children in the future. They just see you as something right now that selfishly fulfills something. So even though you're not good for them, they're still keeping you around. They still lure you back in every time you're out. And I don't mean like they say something nice to you every once in a while, like, hey, you want to hang out? No, the types that they're, like I said earlier in my statements, when I said they're all about you, and then you'll hit them up to hang out that weekend, and then they cancel plans on you. People like that are manipulating your feelings, and they're not the best people to be in your life. Even though 80% of the rest of the relationship might be great, those are very strong signs. When you're getting things like that, you really need to take the red flag. But you need to also say, were you upset more often than you care to remember? Or was your partner demonstrating upset non-verbally? Were there conflicts that you both ignored, or ruts or behavior in the routine that you couldn't escape? Every breakup has a story. As you force yourself to look at it, sometimes even after you get back with them, if you revisit these things, you may lay the groundwork for a better experience the next time you grow close to someone and leave the person you're with right now. So this is more of a, not just for people who got blindsided by a breakup, but got blindsided and then the person lured you back in, you're currently dating them again. Red flags. Pay attention. If you left them, or they left you, or they seem to be hot and cold with you, and every time you talk to them, one day they can be really nice to you, and the next day they just seem like they could care less whether you're around or not, get rid of them. Okay? And people who look at you a certain way and judge you a certain way, and your self-esteem is now low, they know that, and they're taking advantage of it. So if you're currently gone back with an ex, or are trying to get over an ex after being blindsided by a breakup, don't look at it and say, I miss them so much. Look at it and say, there's a void in my life. That's why I feel like I do. But they helped lead me here. This void wasn't created by itself. Okay? And if you're currently trying to rebound from a breakup and you need some advice, feel free to contact me at the link below. And if this information was of value to you, you can show that appreciation by buying a guy a cup of coffee on the donation link below, and I will talk to you soon.